Justice. On the one hand, mercy. On the other hand, oppression. And in the middle, at point zero, justice. You would think Allah told us about His mercy. What else is He going to tell us about? His punishment. But in Fatiha, instead of telling us about the negative, the punishment, what did He tell us about? His justice. Maliki yawm ad-din. Maliki yawm ad-din. The master of the day of judgment, justice. When everybody gets exactly what they deserve. From this we learn a profound lesson. You don't have to fear the punishment of Allah. You have to fear the justice of Allah. You and I, we're not afraid of Allah's punishment as much as we are of Allah's justice. You know why? Because if Allah's justice begins, there's no difference between that and punishment. Allah, of course, Allah does not punish unless there is a right to do so. So if justice begins, it means mercy has ended. Mercy is Allah doesn't do justice to you. He lets it slide. Right? But justice is everything you did gets counted and audited. Right? And you know, this is explained in the Quran elsewhere. I'll give you a brief reference to it. You know, people are given the book in their right hand on the Day of Judgment? Right? فَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ. Right? The guy who's given the book in his right hand. Now, just because the book is in your right hand doesn't mean you're done with the testing. Now you have to present your book. You have to present your book. So now, you think you're going to be nervous when you're about to present your book? You know, when you're taking a test in class, some teachers, they like to grade the test in the classroom, in front of you. You ever see that? The student takes the test at the desk, and the teacher starts grading right there in front of them. What happens to the student at that time? They're like, nervous. As soon as the red pen gets close to the paper, they look over like, oh my goodness. Right, and there's a check mark, and no, alhamdulillah. Right? So now, that idea, the book has been presented in your right hand, now you have to present it before your master, before the angels. They have to open it up. So you're nervous. You don't know what's going to, you feel good because it's in your right hand. You'll definitely fail if it's where? If you're in your left hand. So at least it's in your right hand, it looks good, but there's no guarantees yet. Now you present it, and Allah Azza wa Jalla, out of mercy, He says, فَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ فَسَوْفَ يُحَاسَبُ حِسَابًا يَسِيرًا. He will be given an easy audit. In other words, not everything will be checked. Easy. The angel will go easy on this guy. Let's go. It's okay. We understand. He's about to present page 25. No. We had enough. Thanks. You can go. You can go. And he passes through. And when he gets to the other side, he's incredibly happy because he passed. He graduated. So he starts reciting. He starts screaming. And this occurs in another place in the Quran. فَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ فَيَقُولُ هَاؤُمُ اقْرَءُوا كِتَابِيَهْ. When he gets to the other side and he's given the book in the right hand, what does he say? Oh, read my book. Look, I graduated. What'd you get? Right? اقرأوا كتابية. But the point I'm trying to make is we fear Allah's justice. The Messenger told us, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إِنَّهُ مَنْ سُئِلَ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ فَقَدْ هَلَكَ. The one who is asked even once on the Day of Judgment, it's like they've been destroyed already. The angel so much as comes to you and says, what were you doing on November 30th outside the AMC theater at 3 p.m.? What was that over there? One little question. That's enough. If the questioning begins, you're done for. We beg Allah Azza wa Jal for that. This is the hadith of the Prophet. Allahumma hasibna hisaban yasira. Oh Allah, give us an easy accounting, an easy reckoning, in which we benefit from Allah's mercy and we stay away from Allah's justice. Allah's justice is for the wrongdoers. Allah's mercy is for the believers. May Allah be included, may we be included from them. Inshallah. Okay. So now I want to get to just a couple more quick pointers and we're done, inshallah ta'ala. Maliki yawmiddin. Then, after you understand these few things about Allah, you understand one more thing there that's very, very important for theological purposes and for students of philosophy. Nowadays, when our kids go to college, it's mandatory for them to take at least one philosophy course. And guess where the iman gets messed up? That one philosophy course. Okay? These professors, the whole idea of being intellectual nowadays is to be agnostic. In other words, I don't believe there's a God, I don't believe there is no God, I'm just not sure. That's what makes me really smart. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, but that's academic culture today. Agnosticism is considered a high intellectual place. And professors and intellectuals that have faith, they consider them biased because they call it a faith bias. I call it a truth bias, but they call it a faith bias. Right? But anyway, here's what I want to share with you that's really important for you to understand when you talk to other Muslims or even non-Muslims about the deen and about Allah Azza wa Jal. It is impossible to believe in God without believing in an afterlife. If somebody says they believe in God, but they don't believe in an afterlife, that's impossible. Then what they're basically saying is they don't believe in God at all. These two things are integrally connected. You can't separate them. So I want to show you what the connection between these two things is. Why are they inseparable from each other? The belief in God and the belief in an afterlife, right? How are these two things connected? If anybody believes in a God, we believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, the proper name for God, right? Then they have to believe that He's perfect in every way. He's got the best names, the best attributes, the best descriptions, and He's flawless. If you give any flaw to God, He's not God anymore. If you say anything imperfect about God, then you believe in less than God. Then your belief is gone. And among His most perfect names is He's just, isn't He? Justice is one of the attributes of perfection. Injustice is imperfect. So God, if you believe in a God, He has to be what? He has to be just. He has to be just. That's a necessary condition of believing in perfection of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Now, when you look, we believe Allah created this world. And in this world, is there justice or injustice? There's injustice. There are criminals who get away with it. There are innocent who get punished. People get it, and people live their whole lives like that. There are people who do so much good, and the only thing they get in return is the death penalty. And there are people who do so much bad, and they live the life of kings. They kill and get away with it. And let me add to you this problem, about the problem of justice in this world. If one person kills another person, what's the most you can do to them? Kill them. If one person kills 100 people, one person kills 100 people, what's justice? What should you do to this one person? What's the most you can do to him? How many times are you going to kill him? Once. Is that justice? He paid for one life. He didn't pay for 100 lives. Is that justice? No. And is one life the cost of, this guy had no brother, no sister, no father, no mother. He was a loner. And he was the killer. And the one he killed was supporting an entire family. Even if you kill him, is that still justice? Was more damage caused by that loss of life than this loss of life? Right? So even if it's one for one, it may not be what? Just. It may not be just. Justice is a very tricky thing. Right? So the question that comes in the mind of the atheist is, if God is perfect, how come there is what? Injustice. Because He created it, right? So everything should be just. Now the answer to that is very simple. I started by saying how many kinds of realities are there? How many worlds are there? عَالِمُ الْغَيْبِ وَالشَّهَادَةِ. The world of the unseen and the world of the seen. This is the seen world. Those of you that are in accounting, you understand debit and credit? This is the world of debit. This is the world of debit. Some debit, some credit. You know when the books are going to be balanced? Day of Judgment. Day when justice is absolutely served. When one guy killed 100, he pays for how many? He pays for 100. There he can pay for here he can't pay for 100. But there, he can pay for 100. In other words, believing in a perfect God, as we do, necessitates that Allah execute justice. And that justice comes not in this life, but in the next life. Believing in a God demands we believe He's perfect. Believing He's perfect demands that we believe in justice. Believing in justice demands that we believe in an afterlife. All these things are connected. They're all connected. Now the last thing about this, some basic lessons of Al-Fatiha. Justice is to, for crimes to be punished and good deeds to be rewarded. Isn't that justice? Good things should be rewarded and bad things should be punished. Who decides what's good and who decides what's bad? Before we get to that answer from the Fatiha, I want you to think about this. Human society from its very inception, I'm not even talking in religious terms, just think of it in out-of-the-box terms. Human society since its beginning has been in conflict. There's been a fight between men and women for thousands of years. There's a fight, and let's talk about this fight between men and women. I'll give you the simplest version of it. I used to teach at an Islamic school, right? Boys and girls in 6th grade, half the class is boys, the other half is girls. And we can't give them recess together, we must keep them separated. So some days boys have recess, other days girls have recess. So I said in the class, look, we only have 5 weekdays. How about we give 3 days to one group and 2 days to the other group? And I'll let the girls decide. I'll let the girls decide who gets 3 days and who gets 2 days. Guess what they decided? Girls. Then I said, okay, let's let the boys decide. Who gets 3 days, who gets 2 days? What did the boys decide? Boys. I'm putting the problem very simply to you. When there's a conflict between man and woman, what is man capable of fighting with only? Himself. What is woman capable of siding with? Herself. Let's put it in contemporary terms. You go to divorce court. Right? You go to divorce court. The husband and the wife are there. The judge is a woman. Who does she feel bad for more? The woman starts sympathizing with the woman. If the judge is a man who recently got divorced, right? And he's a judge, and he's in court, who's he going to side with? He's going to side with the man. You understand? Human beings have bias. In the end, the judge is going to be man, or the judge is going to be what? Woman. You want to decide what are the rights of men, what are the rights of women, what are the obligations of men, what are the obligations of women. How do you create justice between men and women? In marriage, in business, in social life, every aspect of